All right, here we go again. So Matt Burke and I, Inspector Matt Burke, I guess, and I, a retired inspector, I imagine. we're on a we're on an assignment on the eastern shore of Maryland, and you got all those poultry farms out there. So we have got our raid jackets on, and we go to Wendy's, and we're gabbing when we're walking in. Can't wait for my chicken sandwich. All right. How easy we were to please back then. Spicy chicken sandwich. Right. Or something like that. So we go in, we sit down, and we're just like the whole time we're like gabbing about something. And we sit down and I'm eating, and Matt's like, look around. And I look around, everybody's like, you get ready to yell at me today. They're just looking at us. Like, what are they doing here? At least they didn't run. Right. But of course, that's like 20 years ago, I guess. 24 years ago, probably. Maybe even longer. Yeah, I mean, they isolated me all those years, tortured me all those years. Now, there's nothing I could do. I mean, I could have tried to reach out more, but it wouldn't have gotten me anywhere. Probably would have killed me more. Right. The key is to regulate how many times and how much you reach out. Again, I have a responsibility to God not to involve gazillion people, because they're all going to be harassed by the government. And again, there's two options: one of bringing them in or killing them out until they walk off. Right. So they'll be tortured at a minimum, but they might actually be paid and become the devils and become the criminals. Right. Now, I just want to get remarried, and from there we'd figure it out. Right. But again, I did charity. I was going to different religions on and off. Right. When I discovered the church was part of it, oh God, what a letdown! Again, they had actually already been part of it the whole time I was in the church. Right. Somebody was paying the whole time. Right. All I know is my coworkers. Right. There's no doubt they were involved. Apparently, it was happening in Arizona. Like I said, I went on an assignment right after the 9/11. First was the airports. We went into the airports. Then they sent me. Nobody wanted to work because they just worked all that, and they, of course, I'd work anything. I was separated at the time and everything. And they said, I was still in the house though, and they said, but I didn't want to be in the house, so I'd work anything. Right. So they sent me down to Alexandria, Virginia, to secure some stuff down there. And I was talking to a guy, and he said there were some people in Arizona. They just got busted. They said they were quote unquote investigating the coworker, but it was stalking. Marshal Service didn't charge them, but they could have been charged. Right. So it was the same thing. So at that point, I knew I wasn't crazy. But again, he didn't have the other part of the equation that eventually developed, that the CIA and their contractors were behind a lot of it. And it was criminal enterprise. Right. And of course, Russians were, everybody was paying in. Again, it's the best way to explain it. Because I bring up all these, well, I thought it was this person. Well, it's all of them. They're all part of it. It's, again, years ago, I told you it's just like that Justice League and then the Lex Luthor, the Criminal League, the Anti-Justice League. Right. They're the Anti-Justice League. Right. They want to break down and buy expensive coffee. I was trying to find that because I used to be able to find good deals. There was a coffee that I could get in Santa Fe, and it was like Fireman Coffee or Firehouse Coffee or something. It's not the one at Walmart. And I think it was Guatemalan, Guats. And boy, it was so delicious. Chocolatey beyond anything else. No bitterness, no acid. Right. But I wonder if they still have it. I tried to find it. I think it's Firehouse Coffee. I'm not sure. Or Fireman's Coffee. May not even be around anymore. But boy, and they sold you the 16 ounce. Everybody else was like 10 ounce, 12 ounce. Let's see, is this in Arizona? No, it's in Pennsylvania. There's one here. All right. I don't remember what it was. It was in Arizona. You get it natural grocers. It's so funny how different people are here, and you might change over the next couple of years. They may come and indoctrinate a bunch of you, right? But it's so funny. I mean, not funny, but how it was and these other places. I just thought the whole world was gone, and it still is. I mean, it's still corruption. I'm sure, there's people paid in the police departments around here and through the state and federal that won't investigate whatever they're told not to investigate by the criminals, the rich criminals. That is, poor criminals they arrest, unless they're covered by the rich criminals. That's why the immigrants get such consideration. The rich immigrants pay bribes and stuff all the time. That's why they're interested in representing us, because we don't have money. But they're like idiots. If they just stop that, we all would have money. Right. But it's the same reason why they killed Luna and came after me, is because they're committing crimes, and it's not really totally about the money, although the money is a means to an end to cover over their criminal enterprises and all the crimes and murders they've committed. Right. Okay, police coffee at Firehouse Coffee in Pennsylvania is Colombian dark roast. Oh no, flatline Brazilian decaf. Blueberry explosion. No, that doesn't sound good. Okay, so blueberry denotes law enforcement officers, maybe FBI. Agent Berry, the bank robbery guy. All right, it says explosion. K-cups. K-cups makes you think of kids. I don't know. Involving their kids. All right, let me put this online. Now, Hashem, like they're sitting there going, "What should we call the coffee, the blueberry coffee?" And Hashem's in their head, "How about blueberry explosion?" Right. That's how this works. Where they know he's in there. Right. It just doesn't look like it's gonna work, but maybe it won't. Wait a minute. No, I shouldn't do that. Right. Hopefully it posts right. Okay. But how it works is I say FBI agent Berry, and somebody else might say Allentown Police Department Berry, or it might say DEA Berry. You see, I don't have all of it. Right. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Okay, blueberry comes up blue LEO. I knew of an FBI agent Berry, bank robbery specialist. Actually, bank robbery senior. Senor investigator. Senior investigator. Bank robberies. I think he was one of their specialists. Right. Oh, maybe explosion in the background. But we need to, but it could be anything. I really thank whoever changed the sound of the smoke and carbon monoxide or carbon monoxide detectors. Because you used to go beep beep, change the beep. Mine go. Mine sound like something from Star Trek. I'm like, what is that? Is that back or feedback in my microphone? No, it's not beep beep. It's like. Right. Isn't that annoying? And you don't have any batteries. Ah! I have batteries somewhere. I ordered a whole bunch. I gotta find them. They curse everything I order from Amazon. They shouldn't have any access. Right. All right. So. All right. All right. So what other coffees are here? That was where it went. Glitty like that. I'll just put the whole page there. All right. Quite a selection of coffee. They really have that much? A lot of coffee. Pork and sauerkraut flavored? Oh, you're joking. Ah, you got it. Oh, wait. I didn't do my post. She's here. Right. Where is that post? Did I lose it or did I do it? Wait a minute. Oh, I don't have my post. All right, all right, we need to. I can't believe I lost that post. Let me find. I think I copied it. All right, this is a woman. She was a EMS and she came out of her vehicle and was killed shortly after midnight. Okay, we need to issue. Right. Well lit devices for public safety scenes. Not to fix that, I have to put some other word in there. Lit devices for marking. Safety scenes, right. It is my experience that we need to issue several types of devices to each officer. Right. Fire person and EMS. Right. We also need to issue to each of each device. Officers need devices for POV. Right. Officers also. This woman got killed here. Also devices for POV use. Make discounted pricing available if additional devices are needed. Thank you. They hated me so bad for putting it out there before about the headlamp. Now I can't even get to charging my headlamp. Right. All right, let's go to national. Who? We need a national fire chief. I don't know why you didn't do it, but you're a bunch of losers. Right. So, National Fire Chiefs Council. Put it to them. Are they still on here? November 14th. That's. Give it to them. We need to issue a device of officers for public safety. This is my experience. Several types of devices to each officer, fire person, EMS, or law enforcement officer. Right. Let me put that. Fire person. We also need to issue to each of each devices for POVs and make discount. All right, so here we go. Let's get to the next one. Who else we got? What are they called? The National Fire people. There's a National Fire Administration or something. Go away, pointing the finger instead of fixing. You're always pointing the finger instead of fixing everything. Right. And then they don't fix anything. And half their cases don't even go anywhere. COVID. That's a hard case to get on. You had a better chance years ago, right, on the original charges. Right. National Fire. I thought there was a fire administration. You have to look it up. Outside of X. The H1Bers are blocking me. I'm trying to think. Fire. Should have came up already. I don't know. U.S. Fire Administration. There's your X page.
it didn't come up. I guess they're not on here, maybe. U.S. Fire, there they are. Nah, he probably took it too. All right, where are we at here? Did I get that one on there? Hey, they hack it. I think they're funny. Thanks. Let me see what I'm here. Let's see what we got here. I gotta go to this one. Redo it. All right, so let's go EMS here. Why not show EMS?
Now you're hacking my page here. Let me reload. No, I can't search anything. They're in the middle. It blotted out that screen. There it is. So February 3 is too long ago. Let's see if we can find anyone else. Return alert, please. Them and Fleo is sold out. I don't know where they are now. They're definitely sold out. Actually, let's see what else we can find. Find the IACP if I don't. No, not the Marshall Service. We won't tell that. They're the ones who taught FOP and Fleo to sell out. Sell out. At IACP. Oh, wait. National Association of what? EMS educators. Association of State EMS officials. Let's try this. Are they on there? It's like no. There's like one person that probably managed 50 of these pages, EMS pages, and they're no longer doing it. So now everything's dead last February. Like, EMS pages are dead. I don't like doing IACP. Thank you, Larry. All right, let me see here. I guess that'll be for now. I guess it's DHS.
got some VHS. You don't like anything weird. All right. There we go. It's on the Drudge Report here. Oh, we're learning about Epstein's penis. Thanks, Drudge. You're adding to society. Thank you. Do you have photos, Drudge? He's collecting a treasure trove of Epstein memorabilia. Everything's getting tested and all that, so that's good. Southern Command. Right. Everybody getting climatized. Like in one thing good about Santa Fe, I'd like recognize police officers. I don't think that's happened since Santa Fe. Right. Right. Where are you working, Pennsylvania? I'm working, but I don't get paid. See what the governor's doing. Question is, was the arson attack motivated by spies of whatever origin? Right. They do stuff to people's heads. Cops can't see it, especially if it's coded. They'll teach a victim code, some sort of loose code, and then they'll harass the victim, and then when they get control of the victim's mind by taking them down and letting them up and doing that kind of thing, then they steer them in a certain direction. You actually need like NSA code heads looking at the history, the internet history of these people like Crooks and the others. Right. Some people don't even know what's happening to them. Right. It took me a long time to even begin to see it. First, I had to wake up. They did me at least 15 years before I woke up, maybe 20. And of course, over the years, it became more powerful because of all the internet and everything.
and it was such a huge big deal, and to finally have it here.
I'm going to go for that, but also the Bib Gourmand is really good for when we're elated to have Michelin come to Philadelphia.
It really is. Okay, so it was IACP, but it was the International or the Institute. I don't remember, but it was chefs, whatever. So it keeps coming up that you should be providing your people with their own food on these assignments. You should have a dining facility, somewhere, or dining facility and moving food out to them. For all we know, these people are being drugged. Not serving you is actually nice. I mean, you could be spitting in your food. Right. Great. Doesn't even matter if you watch them. They could do it to the stuff before, knowing you're going to come in, have it put aside for you. Right. Right. And your vehicle should be watched overnight by surveillance. So a control room somewhere. So a control room should be monitoring. I'm sure you're monitoring a lot of cameras, but monitor your parked vehicles if you can. That's all you're doing is the working tax credit. What about people that don't work? Ah! I wasn't allowed to work. They killed me. They'd kill somebody if they employed me until they fired me. Right. Right. They'd come in and make it easy. They'd make fabricated complaints. I would say I'd be a great Uber driver, but right. They'll go to hell for it. They can laugh then too. Nah, God doesn't forgive that kind of stuff. It's just cold, calculated. Again, most of the crimes that Yeshua and David spoke about in forgiveness were just victim crimes, almost victims of the planet. Just this spur of the moment, these premeditated things. He wasn't so big on, especially those that cause others to fall, and that's who you all are. Well, it's kind of like, remember I was talking about that best of the best, worst of the worst? Well, you keep saying, you just say work, the work credit, and it affects a large portion of Pennsylvanians, but you could put something else in there instead of just keep saying that. Thank you, Lord. Like a broken record. Yeah, the chef's thing came up twice here on Josh Shapiro's page. Right. And it was IACP was the first time it came up. Right. Not cheap, please. Chefs or something. Let me Google it again. Might be something in there to help you. Okay, IACP culinary is on here. I don't know if they'll get to say what it stands for on this. International Association. If it's IACP of food professionals or something, but that doesn't spell that. Of culinary professionals. Okay. IACP. Yeah. International Association of Culinary Professionals. Okay. Well, you can have food delivered by your approved people, right? Again, you just put a kitchen together somewhere, put a dining facility together somewhere in a central location, and then get a few trucks and, we'll meet, set up rendezvous points, just like in the military. You can do it in the morning, at 1300, we'll meet you at location B, location C, location A, right? And you just gotta make that rendezvous, like Ranger School, or
sapper school or special forces. So you have to make your round, your point. So that's all you do. And again, you could be a little bit off and all that. We'll have. You should have a few trucks, and there's people that are veterans that you can trust, and you can put them to work, right? Running your food trucks and running your kitchens, right? Even law enforcement people that retire, they'd be interested in helping, and they're into something like that at this point. And maybe the economy isn't quite where they thought it would be, or where they happen to be, and you could hire them, right? I'm sure there are a lot of cops cook. Barbecue, maybe even Mexican. You have one truck that's Mexican, one truck that's Italian. We're not against Mexicans. We want to free Mexicans is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give Mexicans a place to, to come to, not the Mexicans that'll break the law, the Mexicans that say, I can't break the law and I'm stuck here in this life, right? Because I'm not doing that. God will never forgive me if I do that, right? And again, it empowers the cartels. Every one of the people that came up here with a guide has empowered the cartels and sex trafficking and drug distribution. Well, the reason it's not working is because they came up here. If they don't come up here, then we go, oh, we need general laborers. Right? Once the American labor can't support it, then we bring the general laborers. There's too many up here. They don't hire Americans, okay? So when you start that racist shit, I've been around Latino supremacy quite a bit. I know what's going on. They're living better lives than me. Somebody pays, right? And then they're grandfathered into the deep state, right? Actually. Now, these people don't care, man. It's all about me, self. No matter what they tell you. They're all for the game. The game actually has charity built into it, but it's false charity. It's just for self-promotion, right? I told my ex-wife when we were married, I explained it to her, I said, we're going to do this charity thing, and we're going to, see combined campaign in the government, federal campaign. I said, but we're not going to claim it on taxes. We could, but we're not, because that's not what we're supposed to do as Christians. But you know what Christians do, right? Claim everything. Right? Hey, claim it on taxes, then you don't get God credit. Right? That's the way it is. I don't know what it is with Butler County tomatoes. I don't know where they come from, but they are the absolute best tomatoes that I've ever had in my life. I don't know if that'll go forever, but today I just ate the best tomato that I've ever tomato sandwich I've ever eaten in my life because of the tomato. I'm floored. I've never seen tomatoes like this. And they call them slicing tomatoes. I understand that is a special type, but I've seen that before, and they're not these. No, Butler County, I mean, it could come from Florida, I don't know. It could come from Georgia, I don't know. But Butler County, Pennsylvania has the best tomatoes in the world, if you ask me. In the world. I can make that statement. I don't even know how a tomato could be better than the tomato I had today. You know why? Because they're not cursing my tomatoes. Now they will. But Hashem said, if you can find a tomato like that, then you could find a wife in the last 20 years. You can't because of them. In fact, you found wives, and they physically blocked them.
piggy people. See what else is on Drudge here. Drudge is a psyop. Well, as far as the world goes and world leaders go, MBS was wrong for that. I said that, but again, the world's the world, and we move forward. Unfortunately, each person doesn't count, and that's just how the world really is. Right? I mean, there's people out here who kill people who are run around as cops, but because of their actions, somebody died younger than they would, or may have killed themselves, or killed another person because they're deep state. So I think first we need to focus on that before Drudge focuses on MBS. But Drudge is actually part of that. That's part of how he gets his money. He posts stuff here to whack people's heads. Right. Victims of the deep state get whacked on the Drudge Report. Right. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.